my shirt. It's open. That's wet.
Welcome, everyone. I'm going to call the meeting to order. We're excited to have our guests with us. Looking forward to hearing in a little while. Welcome, everyone. We acknowledge tonight that we're meeting on the traditional land of Saugeen Nation, which is represented by the communities of Saugeen First Nation and the Chippewas of Nawash Unceded First Nation. We also think of the Métis Nation of Ontario, whose history and people are well represented in Bruce and Grey counties. I apologize, my mic seems to be coming and going. We have regrets this evening from Trustee Kaitonen, and we're joined online by Trustee McComb and Trustee Morgan. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Director Wilder will be presenting her annual report a bit later this evening to share some of the countless highlights of her work that has occurred under each of the priorities of our multi-year strategic plan. As we prepare to close out 2024, let us reflect on all the incredible accomplishments in our Blue Water District School Board schools and work sites over these past 12 months. Thanks to the hard work and dedication of our students, staff, parents, guardians, families, trustees, partners, and others who have played a meaningful role in our board's success. I know that trustees also join me in sending warm wishes for the safety and happiness of everyone in our school communities as we enter the holidays. There is so much to look forward to in 2025. I would like a mover and seconder that the agenda for the regular meeting of the board of December 17th be approved as printed. Trustee Lutz, Trustee Craig. All in favor? Thank you, that is carried. Welcome, Trustee Ritchie. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest on any of our items on the agenda this evening? See none. We have 3 sets of minutes to approve. First, I look for a mover and a seconder that the minutes of the regular meeting of the board of November 19th, 2024 be approved as printed. Trustee Craig. Trustee Ritchie. Are there any errors or omissions with this set of minutes? I see none. All in favor? Thank you, that is carried. The next set is the minutes from the special regular meeting of the board of December 3rd, 2024 be approved as printed. Could I have a mover? Trustee Johnstone, seconded Trustee Patterson. Again, is there any errors or omission with this set of minutes? I see none. All in favor? Thank you, that is carried. And finally, that the minutes of the Committee of the Whole Board meeting of December 3rd, 2024 be approved as printed. Can I have a mover? Trustee Johnstone, Trustee Morgan. Any errors or omissions with this set of minutes? I see none. Thank you. Are all in favor? Thank you. That is carried. Is there any business arising from the minutes? I see none. There are no delegations this evening, and that brings us to our excellence in education, the arts in Blue Water, and I would like to invite Superintendent of Education Lefebvre to introduce our guests.
Thank you so much, Chair, trustees, all of our parents and students, spectators, and people online. This is a wonderful opportunity for all of us to hear a wonderful group of students who have definitely impressed a number of people. You'll see in the board report that you have in front of us that this group of young men, led by Dan Kimawan and Mr. Morrison as well, has been a big part of this. But the students themselves have been so instrumental in terms of the work that's happened. We're so happy and privileged to have them here tonight to present. I'm going to turn this over to Hugh right now. I believe he has some things to say.
I thought we were doing this song first, but okay. Yeah, that's okay. I just, when we do board reports, as a principal, you're supposed to dress up. You want to go Dawn? Good. And we're supposed to know things. And so we go to school and people teach us how to do school. And then we're supposed to run school. And I thought when I returned to GC Houston that I maybe knew some things. And tonight I'm incredibly humbled because I don't know much. And so sometimes we're expected to be the ones that teach, but the ones that teach me are here. So this program has been going on for more than 10 years. I can take no credit for starting it. It was started by Mr. Russell, who's here with us tonight. So
Sorry, my apologies.
yeah, so Dan, Russell, Dan, if you could wave so everyone who doesn't know you will know who you are. And when I came back to GC Houston, Dan Kimawan, who I knew, said, we have to keep this going. And I thought, okay, yeah, whatever, right? And then all of a sudden, he was in a couple times, and all these kids kept coming to my office over and over saying, we need this, we need Dan to come. And this has become an important part of our fabric of our school, right? So when you watch it, you'll think things like, oh, they're learning rhythm, or to keep a beat. That's easy. That's not actually what this is about, right? In the drum brings people together, and it's brought our school together. It's what we use as a vehicle for learning. And sometimes we have like this incredible curriculum, but we learn about music, but we learn about social studies, we learn about language, we learn about the past, but we learn how to support each other. We learn how to work together, and incredibly, what has happened is we learn how to support each other through laughs, and we have lots of them, but we've also learned how to support each other when things are really awful. And there are people in the drum who have lost people, and the way that they cope now is for the drum to come and honor those who've gone. They support each other, they look after each other. And that's changed everything for the outcomes at school. So when you watch this tonight, understand that you'll hear the language, which is beautiful. You'll hear music and drumming. But what you're seeing is a vehicle that brings people together. And that's the most important message of this time. So again, all these things I thought I knew as an administrator, I didn't know. And they have taught me. And Dan Kimawan, thank you so much for being a mentor to me and to these kids. So we're going to start with a song. If everyone could stand, we're going to start with an arms.
Robert, did you want something now? You're long.
I think that's
You can sit now, thank you.
Y'all can sit down. No, you guys can hear me loud enough, right? Do I need that?
You might not hear it on.
Oh, okay. You guys.
아니, 이번 기념일은 누구 먹고 노래를 소리를 샤벤다. 공동지 사기인도です. 기침이가 전다 모르기 밑에 뭐 위비가 너무 기념하게 공공. 근데 아주 매물도 만드는 기비 기념하고 만드 괜히 되면 다는 Anyway, my name is Dan Kimwan. I'm Three Fires in the Shabe. I'm originally from Wikwamacom. My partner, she's from Saging. So I am so grateful that the culture was brought into the school. And thanks to Mr. Russell, we brought it in, and we worked together for a long time, and for over 10 years. And what this does for our kids is it picks them up and guides them through life. Through the talks I give them, through the dumb teachings I bring them. Somebody asked me, how come you didn't bring the traditional drum? And there's always a teaching behind these drums. This drum, our culture was outlawed, and we weren't allowed to use our hide drums. So they joined marching bands. A lot of reserves had marching bands. So they had these big drums, and the people, and they caught wind that the people were practicing their culture. They would come, and this drum would be there, and they would be practicing their marching band. But once they were gone, they would put on the floor and started singing. So this has brought us a lot of teachings. It has picked up our kids in so many ways that a lot of them used to walk around like this, with their heads down. I had a lot of them that couldn't speak out in front of people. Now they speak out in front of people. They help each other. They respect each other. So a lot of these teachings, they don't get taught at home, and I bring it to them. So I am very grateful that you did this for us, and it truly helps a lot of kids out. And if Huey would have mentioned the other teachers, how much it helped these kids in those classes. A lot of these kids were just, wouldn't even go to class, wouldn't even go to school. They just, once I came back, the kids started coming in, and it helps them in a great way. And it helps me in a great way. It makes me very happy every time I wake up. just to find out I'm going over there, going to their class. So, like I said, we build up on these kids, and a lot of these kids help one another out. They literally do help each other out now, instead of just walking away from each other. And the respect they show to the teachers, and the teachers will speak to this, how it helped them through their guidance through school. So I'd like to say thank you to the board, and to thank you, Dan there. I would love them to come and sing with us, but we don't have enough room for them. So, but I'd like to thank Huey, too, because he's a big part of this too. And what we do is we better us as kids. So anyways, thank you. Jimmy Witch.
Want to speak? Yeah. Come on. Come on. Yeah, you got this. Yeah. They're playing shy right now.
I got the two.
Yeah, you come up too tight. Come on.
People didn't knock my chair off. What I say?
On est bonjour, Ryland Indigenous Cause, now Shannon in Dojba. I'm speaking today because I wanted to talk about how this drum helped me in so many ways. When I first came to this school, I had a hoodie and I would come to class all shy. And then I was going to Ojibwa, and then our Ojibwa teacher told me to come down and start drumming. And then I started to drum, and when I started to drum, it started to excite me, and it gave me a lot of courage to speak about things and doing things. And then I started to drum, and then it made me so proud. And then I lifted that hoodie up, started looking up, and talking to more people, making more friends. And then I would come to class more, and I would do better on my work. And Dan came on, he would talk to us about so many things, about how our culture and how great it is, and how great it is to the opportunity to be able to drum. And that just makes me really happy and proud of the drum. And that's it.
Ani and Nashni Dishnaka Sagini Dojaba. Thank you for having us tonight. Having drumming and culture teachings at school has made a huge difference to me and my friends. Before I hated coming to school, but now I know it's a place for me. Drumming helps motivate me in class because if I don't keep up with my studies, then I can't go drumming. I'm very passionate about drumming. Dan has helped us see how important it is to be connected to the past and stay on a good path. It has helped my friends to treat each other better, be better at home, and try at school. This year we have drummed to raise money for our community and children's charities. We have also brought comfort to our community when there are funerals and community events. Thank you for supporting our programs like this in our school. Me and Eppington Doxidry, we are the ones that matter.
My name is Tyrese, and happy holiday.
So I came back to the area in 2003, and I never thought that I would see a night like this here. So to see our families here, to see the kids drumming, taking over this board office, this means that we're all a part of something, and I appreciate that. So tonight I'm very proud to be a part of our board. So thank you.
This next song we're gonna do, you don't have to stand. For me, I forgot to say that Repite Lagosijik, in my language, that means these guys matter. And they matter to me, because one day they're my future. They are our future. Okay? So the songs that I make, this last song we're gonna sing, I made when we made the drum. So, like I said, culture and language goes great with this, and like I said, $10, these guys mean a lot to me, because they are my future, and our future relies on them. So I'm gonna sing this song, and it's about the drum. We thank the Creator and the visionary woman that first seen this drum, given it to us as an Anishinaabe people. And what that drum did was to calm the Ojibwe people from fighting war with the Sioux people, 100-year war they called it. And from there, that's where our drum derived from, and it was given to us to be at peace with the Sioux people. And we've been at peace with the Sioux people for a long time now, and this drum does a lot to show that. So anyways, we're gonna do this one more song we made when we made that drum. So.
Kids drumming on here.
Miigwech. Miigwech.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much. Would it be okay if you answered a couple of questions, if people have any?
Sure.
Trustees have any questions or comments today? Trustee Morgan?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Please excuse my ignorance, but I'm really curious about the drumsticks, what they're made from, with all the fluffy bits.
Imitation fir, fiberglass, and leather. In the old days, I go to big drum ceremonies to Wisconsin, and there they use the old school, traditional wooden sticks. That's what they use. Over here is just, we get fancy with this.
Turn it on.
So, yeah.
That's terrific. And the other question I have, and I have no idea about this, is this practice of drumming predominantly male or females allowed?
It's predominantly male. It was given to us by a female. So the men warriors back in the day, when they used to have wars with the Sioux, first, when the cavalry used to fight with the Sioux people in South Dakota, North Dakota, the woman had a dream, a vision of the big drum, and when they made it, she made it, and the men tightened it up, and the men sang on it. So the next time the cavalry came to war with the Sioux people in Spirit Lake, North Dakota, they took out the drum and started singing, and what happened was the soldiers just didn't even charge, they just came and peacefully respected the people. Then with us, the Ojibwe people, we fought the Sioux people, kicked them right out of Minnesota, because it was rich in wild rice and game, so we pushed them, we warred with them for 100 years. So the visionary woman, Wananiqua, her name was, she had, well, if it works for the soldiers, it'll work for the Ojibwe people. And in 1860, between 1860 and 1870, it was the very first drum that was given to the Ojibwe people. And it stopped warring with the people. It stopped warring. It brought us peace and tranquility. As you, a lot of these kids were, what would I say? Couldn't sit still. Now they can sit still through a whole session, and here they are. Today, I'm really proud of them because I had a really good batch that went last year. They went to the high school. They wanted me to come to the high school. I'm dealing with these guys. Because like I said, these are my future. That's the way I look at them. And that's how our drum came about, the big drum. But we always had drums. We had a Medewan drum. We had a Gore drum. We had Mogadapoko, the medicine drum. So we've all of us, one way or another, did music and songs, the whole world. So we just keep practicing what was given to us. And it's, like I said, it's not about the drumming and the singing. It's what the teachings that come with they learn about the past, how our people survived. It teaches them to be very good listeners, and they are very good listeners at school, because the teachers will speak to them. How it helped Gage, how it helped Tyrese. And it does really help them, because what happens if you don't finish your work, Tyrese, you can't come to drums, right? That's one rule, that's all we have. And I teach them respect. They respect one another, and they respect the teachers. So it's something that, should be taught at home, but I'm here teaching them, passing on what I was passed on to. All this culture I carried, it was never beaten out of my mom, because she went to residential school, I went to day school, you know, they tried. We were resilient. I'm a resilient person, and I'm trying to teach these guys how to be resilient and speak in front of people. And they do a good job of what they learn. And we don't put words in their mouth. It comes from their hearts. You know, we kind of call them this Lord. You got to figure out what to say, and whatever Nash just said, it came from his heart. It was just rewritten by Huey.
Thank you so much for looking after our kids. You're doing a great job.
Trustee.
Your kids,
Trustee.
you said.
Our
Thank
kids.
you.
I just want to thank you so much for sharing your drumming with us tonight, as well as with your school and with the community. And I know you've even gotten into trouble with it sometimes. And I am so incredibly honored to get to see you drum, because I've seen you drum before. And it's so special that you are sharing it with us. And we thank you for being fantastic ambassadors everywhere that you go.
Good watch.
Trustee Atkins.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank Dan for bringing this to GC Houston, and for Mr. Morrison for continuing
Call me
to,
Huey, everyone else.
and to Huey for continuing it on his journey at GC Houston. This is the second time I've had the privilege to listen to you drum, and it's very heartwarming, and you are teaching us all, and I thank you for that. But one of the young people said that you matter. You most definitely matter, and please never forget that you matter, okay? And again, thank you so much for sharing your talent, because it is a talent, and thank you for teaching them and guiding them. And I do have one question, is when do you practice?
For me?
Yeah,
I don't.
you don't.
Well, I shouldn't say that. Every day. Every day. I don't sing every day, but I practice my culture every day. If I don't speak to anybody, I speak to the mirror. And if I don't speak to the mirror, I mean, there was this peace and tranquility, everything's alive out there, and everything I speak out, they listen. Because my Creator, He gave us this language, and I love using this language when I pray.
Thank you for sharing it with us this evening.
No problem. I love sharing.
Trustee Gray.
I see in the report before us, a brief report, that we have drummed for quite a wide variety of organizations, from Bruce Gray Child and Family Services to Unifor's Black, Indigenous, and Racialized Workers Conference, etc. What I want to know is, to what degree have you been able to reach out to the other schools throughout Bruce and Gray counties? When are you going to make that happen?
Yeah, I would like to see it happen. I did work with the Catholic School Board, and they're trying to bring me back.
So our first road trip was last school year. We had a smaller group that drummed for Beaver Valley Community School in Thornbury. I have to give some kudos. Mike Kulikowski is a teacher there. He does a program he calls the Living Museum, where it's about learning from people, not just books. So he invited us for that. This year, this group drummed the opening of the Northeast Cross Country Meet. It had, several schools there, 1,000 competitors approximately. One of the cool things with that event, Michael, was that they donated the entry fees from that. So we are picking up a check on Saturday, and that's been donated to the Scotland Food Bank. So there's a couple of spots where it's going to schools. We have been looking into the idea of whether we could do some recording and some video recordings, and then share a little bit of a teaching that we could distribute. So I know that's something that has been talked about with Superintendent Faye. And I still have to get them to go to class sometimes too. We can't just always get road trips, but thank you for the question. Thank you for the question.
Just to add on, I know also Dan, when he was at GC Houston, they gifted a big drum to Alexandra, and I know there have been a lot of things that happened afterwards at Alexandra that have really helped to spark that same passion amongst a number of Indigenous students that do attend there, and they have a very close connection with Mwikwadong and some of the knowledge keepers there. So that's been a wonderful addition.
Thank you so much for the drumming and the song. It was really incredible to hear. And I just had a question. The drumstick with the white fur, does it have an alternate meaning?
Well, they just,
I can actually answer this one. I'm not qualified to answer most of them, but every year we do something different. And Dan brings something new and something different. And so the brown heads on the drumsticks, those are our new drumsticks that Dan just finished for us. And the white one was the white stick was one of our previous drumsticks, and we brought that one as an extra because we wanted to make sure that Barrett could drum too.
the hairstyle from.
Trustee Ritchie, did I see your hand up? I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Oh yeah, I was trying to get in there a few times, but I'm really happy people were expressing their gratitude and asking questions that they wanted to ask. I wanted to say too, like to all the trustees, there's no stupid question you're not going to learn unless you ask. And like I said before, ignorance, there's two types of ignorance, right? And you're choosing to be it or you just don't know. So, and I strongly believe most of you, if not all of you, you just don't know, and don't be afraid to ask. I'm glad that you guys are asking questions, but I wanted to say, I want to apologize for not being there tonight. My daughter has been down with a cold the last few days, so I had to stay home with her tonight. Hopefully she's better tomorrow. I really wanted to be there, and I just wanted to express my thanks to Dan again. I know I've said this before to him, Chimibuch, for all you do for the kids, and it made me very proud to see them, even if it was just through the screen. But I also wanted to say something to our trustees and to the board while we have the kids here, because I know there's been different questions asked. I know Trustee Craig asked, have you done any outreach to other schools or to the Catholic School Board? And I will say this, they shouldn't have to ask. You're more than welcome to, have not our teachings, but, have information or education around even the treaties. Because like I said before, we are all treaty people. You guys would not be here if we weren't all treaty people. There's a lot of people that don't even understand that. And I understand that, some people might say that's not true, but it is very much true. And, I know we're going to be talking about, different professional development days. I know I brought this up before, one of them could be learning about the trees, learning about the territory that you're on. Because regardless of where you go, it doesn't matter where you go in Ontario or in any province or in Canada or even the United States, you're on somebody's territory. So I want to take that opportunity to share that. And like I said, I'm really glad that they're there, because now you can see why I advocate so hard. And like Dan said, they're our future. And what I like to say too about our young people, they're our leaders of today. They're always teaching us. I know Hugh had said that, they're teaching me all the time. And that's the same with myself. So please take this in. Please don't be afraid to ask any questions afterwards. And, I'm looking forward to the discussion in the new year about this, because this is the reason why I sit here. If I didn't feel the need to sit here and fight for these guys, I wouldn't be here. So I really appreciate Keith, Dan, I think they said Dan Russell's there. It's good to see you even through the screen. And and to you and the kids, so Chimibuch.
Director Wilder.
Thanks, Trustee Ritchie. It's a tough act to follow, but I too want to just say how humbled and honored we are to have all of you here today. And I was going to thank Dan times two, and Huey, I like that. I like that. And the parents and those who support and brought the students here tonight, thank you so much. It's miigwech to all of you, and you are all gifts to us. And tonight what you brought is a true gift, so miigwech.
We're going to take a couple of minute recess. Oh. Go ahead.
Given to you from a drum group.
Oh my goodness, thank you. Oh. Oh, thank you so much.
That's all your good dreams.
Oh my goodness. Very powerful. Thank you again for coming. I feel like your words were more powerful than anything I could add, but I know we were all very touched by what you did, and we're proud, and it was wonderful to see you up there, Barrett.
Yes.
And see how much joy that was bringing you. And so we're going to take just a moment so that you can move your drum, and thank you again. We'll reconvene. We are to reports, Committee of the Whole Board reports. And there are some recommendations from the Committee of the Whole Board from December 3rd. Trustee Johnstone chaired that meeting, so I'll turn this part over to her.
Thank you very much. So we have some recommendations here. I'll put the first one on the floor, and then I'll be looking for somebody to second it. That the Blue Water District School Board approved Board Policy BP 1501-D, Board Operation as revised for system use. Can I have someone second that? Thank you, Trustee Lutz. Is there any further conversation? See that? All in favor? And that is carried. Next, that the Blue Water District School Board Policy BP 1408-D, Privacy and Information Management as revised for system use. I'm moving it in for a second. Thank you, Trustee Morgan. Further discussion? We see none. All in favor? And that is carried. Next, that the Blue Water District School Board approved Board Policy BP 1101-D, Blue Water District School Board Strategic Plan as revised for system use. I'm moving. Second, thank you very much, Trustee Atkinson. Discussion concerning that motion on the floor. I see none. All in favor? And that too is carried. And then finally, that the Blue Water District School Board approved Board Policy BP 1108-D, Code of Conduct Trustee as revised for system use. Second, thank you, Trustee Thompson. Further discussion? I see none. All in favor? And that is carried. And that's my report. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And then we're to the Business Committee of the Whole Board from December 3rd, and I'd like to invite Business Committee Chair Johnstone to speak to the report and the two recommendations.
Okay. Thank you. Getting a little blinky. Okay, now it's not. It was flashing, red and green, festive colors. Anyway, it was from this meeting, there was an election of the chair, of the elected chair of the business committee for the end of 2024, 2025. There's a couple of items for decision, so I'm going to put those on the floor. Here they are. That the Blue Water District School Board approved the Audit Committee report outlining the activities of the committee for the year ending August 31st, 2024. I'm moving that. Can I have someone second it? I think Trustee Morgan, is that? I can see your hand. There you go. Any discussion? See none? All in favor? And that is carried. And then next, that the Blue Water District School Board approved the Audit Committee 2023-2024 year-end report to the Ministry of Education and forward to the Ministry of Education. I'm moving it. Can I have a second? Thank you very much, Trustee Craig. Any further discussion? I see none. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you very much, and that's the end of my report.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So now we're to B2, report from the Committee of the Whole Board in camera, which was held earlier this evening. And I would like to invite Vice Chair Johnstone to speak to this report from this evening's meeting.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So that the agenda of the December 17, 2024 Committee of the Whole Board in-camera meeting be deemed to meet the legislative requirements for the discussion in camera. It was moved by myself and I need a seconder. Thank you, Trustee Atkinson. All in favor? And that is carried. Next, that the Blue Water District School Board approve that staff have authority to enter Blue Water District School Board into purchase and sale agreements to acquire land for new schools in Dundas, Kincardine, and Port Alberta. I'm moving that and I need a seconder. Thank you, Trustee Lutz. All in favor? Oh, thank goodness. That's good. Next, that the Blue Water District School Board accept with regret the resignation of the Director of Education, Lori Wilder, effective August 31st, 2025. I'm moving that with regret. Can I have a second? Thank you, Trustee McComb. All in favor? No. That carried. Thank you very much. And then finally, that the Blue Water District School Board initiate a search for the Director of Education by contracting a consulting research firm. It's moved by myself and I need somebody to second that. Thank you, Trustee Craig. All in favor? And that is carried, and that's my reports.
I just want to take a moment. We are tremendously thankful to Lori for her 4 decades of unwavering leadership and commitment and service to the students, families, and school communities in our area. Her legacy and footprint are profound, particularly through the lasting positive impact she has made on student well-being and her long career as a champion of marginalized and vulnerable students. It is a bittersweet farewell as we wish her many rewarding and happy years in your well-earned retirement. I know that countless others join me, both past and present, in saying thank you to Lori. Blue Water will look different without her, and her warm and thoughtful presence will be missed. Congratulations, we will miss you. Great. Do we have any new notice motions this evening? I see none. Our committee establishments and appointments. Each year after our inaugural meeting, we look at our committees for another annual year. And so the committee appointments have been done and you have received them. The trustees have been provided with the report for information. So each trustee had their opportunity to express the interest of the committees that they were on, and then we looked to try to make that as fair as possible. And the list has been finalized. A reminder to all trustees, if you are on a committee and the date is not something that you can make, please look to your alternate for so that they have some time to get to the meeting. It's their opportunity to participate, and it allows the committee to have quorum. So, and if there's any questions, and look through our calendar of events so that you see the dates that you will be, have a committee. And we are to our student Senate report. And I'd like to invite student trustee White to present the report.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Just turn it on.
Did it work? Yes. Okay, here we go. Blue Water District School Board secondary schools have recently been occupied with fundraisers, seasonal events, and sports this December. Many schools have been hosting events to celebrate winter and the holidays. Several spirit weeks have been held, showcasing a mix of ugly sweaters and festive socks. Keith can surely show us his. But he is wearing quite wonderful socks this evening. WDCS's long-standing tradition of Dance Week has been getting all the students active and together. Events like KDSS's 10 Days of Nightsmiths, GHS's Find the Elf, and PSDS's Fashion Show have also been engaging many students. Multiple types of assemblies, showcases, concerts, and talent shows are being put on. Students giving performances are very excited. Many fundraisers have supported local charities to give back to communities. Fundraisers collecting food and donations have been in full swing, including a 12 Days of Giving, Ronald McDonald Toy Factory, Toonies for Turkeys, and Candygrams for the local fire department toy drive. BWDS's Worry and Gratitude Wall gathered students' thanks and worries and offered a chance for students to help and support one another. The donations have made a wonderful contribution to our school's local communities to help those in need. Winter sports have been started, playing games in preparation for CWASA, such as girls volleyball, boys basketball, hockey, skiing, badminton, and others. Schools like SDSS, PSDS, and KDSS have played student versus staff hockey games and volleyball games, bringing out big crowds from both current and graduated students, staff, and several community members. The Student Senate has decided to focus this year. Its focus this year will be on improving student involvement within the school and community. Through initiatives like the Student Voice Project and many forums, they're seeking to encourage students to participate and share their thoughts to improve their school journey. And sadly, Kathy Smith, office manager of KDSS, passed away on the weekend of December 7th to 8th. For many decades, she made incredible impacts on the KDSS community. She will be dearly missed by all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Do trustees have any questions or comments? I don't see any. Thanks so much. So we are to our staff report, and we have one important one tonight, our director's annual report. And I'd like to invite Director Wilder to speak to the report.
Thank you, Chair Thompson. Testing. Thank you. As we reflect on the Director's annual report coming forward this evening, I'm filled with gratitude for the resilience, dedication, and commitment that defines our education community. Throughout the year, we've remained true to our mission, keeping students at our heart, and that's why we're all here and doing what we do, and every decision centers around what's best for our students. Together, we've achieved remarkable milestones, and from revitalizing our school facilities to advancing initiatives that support student achievement, equity, and well-being, our collective efforts continue to make a meaningful impact. Everything we do is guided by our multi-year strategic plan, and we have emphasized student-centered values within our plan. Significant progress has been made in creating environments where all students feel included, supported, and underscoring our commitment to equity and well-being. We continue to recognize the needs for intentional efforts to aid our student communities, particularly Indigenous, Black, and 2S LGBTQI+ students who face unique challenges. Through the collaborative work of our leaders, educators, and support staff, we continue to take meaningful steps to dismantle barriers and create inclusive, welcoming spaces for all. Reflecting on our achievements, it's clear that our success stems from the collective efforts of our entire community. Our staff consistently go above and beyond. We have an amazing staff throughout our district, and I can't thank them enough, and they're guided by that shared vision on best outcomes for students. And that was surely evidenced this evening with the drumming group that we had here. This vision unites us and fosters environments where everyone feels valued and respected. And at the heart of this is the collaboration that occurs between all of our staff, students, and families working together to create a culture of care that defines all the work that we do. So as we embark on another year of growth, achievement, and service, may we continue to create these vibrant, nurturing spaces where students can flourish and achieve their potential and feel confident in their futures. And I really thank everyone for their dedication and service. So the Director's Annual Report, some of you have it electronically. There are some hard copies. It's included on the link with our board package that people can access. So you will see it's not an exhaustive list at all of all of the activities and accomplishments, but it's a highlight. And most of the reports should seem familiar to trustees because they are reports that would have come before you most likely during presentations. So a huge thank you is extended to the senior team who have been instrumental in leading all of the priorities that you're seeing in this report, and they sure do an amazing job with all of their portfolios, and I could not do this job without them, and I thank them so very much. So the report itself is just laid out in a way that we have a multi-year strategic plan, which as our new one was passed, this director's report will look a little bit different next year because we are moving from 4 priorities to 3 priorities. And then there are just some messages. I always enjoy the quick facts page, which is there showing how our enrollment is growing significantly, and that we do have a fairly large staff. We're quite the employer in Grey Bruce counties. We have 3,700 full-time permanent and occasional staff, so that's a lot of staff. So that, as I mentioned, this is focused. There are 4 priorities that we currently have in our multi-year strategic plan, and this is how it's outlined. So there's a couple of pages for each priority. Priority 1 of our multi-year strategic plans are on safe, supportive learning communities, and you can see outlined, there's quite a few wonderful things that are outlined there, including, I just want to highlight all of the student forums, for example, is one of the things. And embedded in the report are hyperlinks that you can go on to the hyperlink and see the report that matches that. So the report itself may seem smaller, but it's full of hyperlinks, which will take you to more information. Turning it over, our second is quality instruction. We do spend a lot of time as a board working on quality instruction. That's really important for us. And I would like to highlight again the positive gains in our EQAO tests. It's wonderful. We're seeing a lot of progress. I'm hopeful, although I won't be here, but I'll be watching carefully, that next year we see more improvements in this area. Priority 3 is our community engagement. And what we've really done with you, trustees have done with the new multi-year strategic plan, because that's so important, it is embedded now within the other 3 priorities that you will see in the new multi-year strategic plan. So that was, I think, for a board and for trustees, the work that you did, that was a very big community engagement with the survey that went out and the feedback that you received. We had amazing uptake for that, better than usual, so that was outstanding. And then stewardship of resources. I mean, this is one we always have to keep our eyes on, right, Andy? It's just like, and you've done, trustees, an amazing job in ensuring that financial house is in order. And, we've always got to be careful that we're saving for a rainy day, and Andy keeps us on course that way, but you've done a great job. So I congratulate you all in that, and there's a lot of things. I just want to highlight the school renewal summer work that occurred. It was over $21 million. Like, that's just phenomenal. That exceeds every other summer that we've done, and our school has benefited greatly from the work that was done there. And then there's just some lovely pictures. Our student senate is there, and our trustees, senior team are there as well. So this just doesn't happen. So I would like to thank Jamie Pettit, our communications officer, and Alex Lamont Thompson, who is our digital communications specialist, and Brenna Lawrence, our executive assistant. They work diligently on putting this together, and I greatly appreciate all of their efforts. for their creativity and passion as they put this together. So that is the director's annual report for 2024, because it's odd, it goes from January 2024 till December, so there's the report. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do trustees have questions or comments? The student trustee Powell.
I am lucky enough to have a physical copy of the report, and I was very surprised. It's visually super nice to read. Everything's laid out very nice, and it's really well done to be able to see the good things that our school board has been doing and reflecting on that. It really shows off the hard work you guys have been putting in, and so thank you for that. And yeah, thank you for this. It's awesome to see.
Thank you for your comments, appreciate it.
Trustee Lindsay.
Thank you so much for this report and for highlighting all the incredible work that is done in our board and the incredible achievements, because we need to acknowledge that there's work and there's achievement accompanying it. And I'm wondering if, as a board, we would like to, I'll say, piggyback and go along with the director's statement and put out a statement thanking all the staff of our board for their hard and incredible work, especially that goes into achievements like this. So I'd like to put that out there. Thank you.
Thank you. I just, it's a terrific idea. There's a lot of people that come together to make this work happen. Are trustees in agreement that the Board of Trustees would put a statement out thanking our staff for all their work? I see yes, so thank you for the suggestion. Are there any other questions or comments? Trustee Craig.
I see a lot to be proud of in this report and in your work for the past 4 to 5 years, 35 years before that. I sometimes am frustrated that the reports we receive, quite understandably, accentuate the positive, our achievements, and that is good. But I guess I would like to ask you, as the director, what are the weaknesses that you think about that keep you awake at night? You can even call them the failures, not necessarily of you and the system, but rather of our whole system. In what ways are we letting some students down some of the time? And I wonder if you can sort of put your mind to that, either tonight or in some other report, because essentially that would be a list of the things that could be improved.
I would instead frame it that this is a night of celebration, and that instead of failures, I like the word challenges. Like we're faced with numerous challenges in the work that we do, ensuring, for example, that we are recruiting our staff, that we are dealing with staff absences, that we are ensuring that all of our vulnerable students are served appropriately, those with special education needs or whatever. So there are challenges that we deal with on an operation level all of the time. And so I would just say with the data that's been presented and that's hyperlinked in here, we are on a really positive trend of growth. But this really, and I've seen many other directors' reports, they generally are all celebration items or reports, but I want to look more at challenges, and we're always open for challenges. That's the work that we do all the time. That's the work we're trained to do, and the work we embrace to ensure that we do the best for all of our students in Blue Water.
Well, I embrace the word challenges.
Are there any other questions or comments? Trustee Johnstone.
I just want to say thank you very much, and thank you very much to your staff for amazing work we do in Blue Water District School Board. And if, it's not the director to say that, but as a trustee, I can say that one of our challenges is the continual decline in funding that we get. And I'm going to say that from the province, and then in light of that, and we're talking about like at least I think $1,200 per student, that if you take that into consideration, that we're doing an amazing job, because we keep on, having a lot less money going into the system, and we take on those challenges, and we do the very best. So I want to thank you very, very much to everybody, in particularly Director Wilder.
You don't see any other questions or comments? I too would like to thank you. This represents a lot of work, and it's terrific to see it in this format, and lots to digest even after we leave here. So thank you so much. There have been no communications received. Are there any announcements from students, student trustees, OPSPA? Trustee Lutz.
Wait, it might come later. I don't know. I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, I know a lot of music nights and whatnot were canceled due to snow days, so again, keep up with your schools, and there's some good entertainment going on this week, so that might have come later. I might be on the spot, and I know this.
Trustee Johnston.
Yes. Okay. So as you know, I'll kind of do, 2 and 3 together. But the Public Education Symposium is coming up in the end of January, and you should make sure that if you're planning to attend, to let Crystal know right away. And number 2, you did receive from Crystal via me basically the Coles Note version of the Board of Directors meeting on November 29th, November 30th, and if you have any questions, I'd gladly try to respond to the best of my ability.
Any other announcements? Trustee Craig.
I have a question really for you as the chair and Trustee Johnstone. Is it, first of all, still accurate that Ontario has the lowest per pupil allocation of funding of any province in Canada? I know a year ago I read that. Well, I'll have to check that, but I know that we, in other words, we are, if I can put it this way, the most miserly province in this country with regard to education funding. Now, the question that comes out of that, if it's fully accurate or 3/4 accurate, is what could we, as a group of trustees, do in conjunction with OPSPA or in any other way to put pressure on our provincial government to fund schools more generously? We don't seem to think that we have any role in that kind of pressure, but I would like to think we do.
Yeah, I can sort of answer that question for you, although it's under communication. So Ontario Public School Board Association, during budget, the provincial budget deliberations that we, under law, Education Act, they must consult with OPSA, and so we always do present, what we believe financially that we should be funding in education. We have, sometimes we're, we'll say these are the spots in the areas, but we definitely is based on advocacy for all the public school English-speaking boards in the province. And sometimes, it gets reflected, just to let you know it does, like special things like capital or anything like that, or you'll see letters that come from different school boards, saying what we wrote the ministry. And so we bring that to light, and they'll also go to committee and speak on behalf of school boards. So that's what we do. you know, we do speak to the fact that, you know, that there's less money per student in the system. So we, you know, we're not shy in, you know, because we advocate on behalf of boards, and so we're, you know, we're the voice for that, and so we absolutely do that. But you know, I mean, they hold the purse strings.
Indeed.
I would just add that that's a conversation that we would kind of pay attention to for the whole year. Our senior team might, or through budget, we might hear of an area that's more, that there could be more money, or that we, you know, we're looking at applying reserves to, or that it's something that for our board impacts us differently than it does others, and that's our opportunity locally to pay attention. So it's not necessarily a conversation for right now, but it's something we pay attention to as we move forward. Any other announcements? Don't see any. As I mentioned, have a look. Some of you are on new committees, so pay attention to the calendar of events and put them in your calendar. And if you are aware of any conflicts or errors with that, please reach out to the alternate or Crystal to have it corrected. And with that, I would like a mover that Blue Water District School Board adjourn at 8:18 p.m. Trustee Johnstone, seconded by Trustee Trustee, everybody want to stay? Trustee Atkinson, and I wish you all a safe trip home and a safe holiday.
Have a great break.